Hi, welcome back to Good in Bed. I'm currently filming this on my birthday eve. Tomorrow's my birthday. I'll be posting this on my birthday, and I'm just feeling very happy and excited and grateful. I think that birthdays can be a time of mixed emotions. I know there's a lot of people that feel grief on their birthdays for various reasons. There's people that feel love, excitement, passion, relief, pressure. I mean, all of it. There's so many different things that a birthday can bring up. And I got back yesterday from a birthday trip that I went on to go visit my grandparents on their property. And it was just such a cozy, amazing, loving time. We got to, hang out at the house, cook together, work in my grandpa's workshop together. We picked up some of my grandma's paintings from an art gallery, and yeah, I'm just feeling very, very grateful for it. I feel like that was kind of like my main birthday plans that I had. And it was nice because I made a new like black leather clutch in my grandpa's workshop. I also went to the gun range. I grew up shooting guns. And as you can see, I brought back a souvenir. I have a burn on my chest from a hot shell casing ejecting from the back of my Glock and landing inside my leather jacket. I thought that I was avoiding that issue by wearing a completely zipped up leather jacket. I have in the past worn like tank tops and had the same thing happen where a hot shell ejected out the back of my gun down my top. So I thought that if I had worn a completely zipped up leather jacket that it would, shut out the hot shell casings, but it just made it harder to get rid of once it was inside my jacket. So that's not fun, but I do think that it's cute that it's actually kind of in the shape of a heart and it's right on my heart area. That's kind of romantic and symbolic, or is that masochistic? I don't know. It is what it is. The good news is that I get a lot of like adrenaline when I'm shooting. So like I could feel like it burned, but I don't think it hurt as bad as it would have if I, you know, didn't have massive amounts of adrenaline coursing through my veins. I also think it's funny because when I go to the gun range, I show up with like my pink carry bag, like my what I carry my gun in, and it has like my little case for like my pink Walker headphones, and I show up in like my big sunglasses, and it's just funny because I feel like it's a pleasant surprise to the people that are there, that I shoot so well. And it was fun because when I was there was actually like no one else there shooting. So I was able to ask the guy that, well, I don't know their official title, but whenever you go to a gun range, there's going to be someone standing like behind the lanes, where you're shooting, that they're like armed and like have a vest and everything. I think they're just there to like help and answer questions and make sure that everything goes smoothly. But since there was no one else there, I was able to have him take some photos and videos of me. Maybe I can like put some in on the screen or something. Uh yeah, so that was fun. It's just like the entire thing was such a treat, and I feel really, really, really incredibly lucky and grateful that I have grandparents that I can like spend time with, and also have it just be real. Like the fact that I can go there and genuinely enjoy like the things that I have in common with them and admire the things that we don't have in common. Like we have similar hobbies. There's also things that they like to do that I don't do, that I'm curious about, that I like to learn about. And also just like learning about them also as an adult, and being able to like reminisce on just all of our memories together. It's just such a gift and a treat and a treasure. So I really love that. And to me, that was like my birthday plans. But tomorrow, on my actual birthday, after I get off work, I think I'm going to go to dinner. And this weekend, I'm excited because I've been working on some creative projects that I've been like producing. So those will be coming to fruition this weekend. And I'm so excited. I've put together a really, really, really talented team of people for my shoot on Saturday. And all the locations are great. I was going to say storyboard, but I guess that's like more for acting, but it's like could be for like, modeling too. There's going to be someone that they're doing video as well, but yeah, it's just going to be really fun. I feel like it's really gratifying that this year on my birthday I'm spending it so differently than I have the past few years. And it's very, like, I was gonna say surreal, but it's not surreal because it is real. But yeah, it just feels very lovely that I'm able to, you know, be have so many things that I'm grateful for. I have my health, I have a roof over my head, I have family and friends that I cherish. I have, this stability and safety that I've created for myself. I have my job and my passions, and I'm pursuing creative projects and getting back amazing results. And I feel extremely grateful and fortunate that I have the fortitude and skill set and desire to continue evolving as a human being and paving my way. So I feel like right now I am just sitting in the feeling of that and feeling very victorious of how I've evolved in this life and the ways that I'm going to continue evolving in this life, God willing. So yeah, I think that there are many things that I'm reflecting on, right? I feel like birthdays can be an extremely reflective time. There are things that I'm ready to walk away from. There are things that I'm ready to step into. So I definitely want to talk about that. In terms of like walking away from things, I feel like this last year of my life has been really transformative. I've spent a lot of time walking away, literally and metaphorically, from things that don't serve me. I feel like overall, my mission this past year has been to change my life. And in order to change my life, I've had to change the way that I see myself and the world, right? In order to transform my life, I've had to transform my perspectives and the things that I think and feel and believe. And I feel like change is something that is so necessary, and it's easier to say that you're ready for change than I feel like when it actually happens, right? Because when everyone thinks of change, or okay, well, I don't want to speak for anyone else, but it's like a lot of times when people, or when I think of change, you think of change how it's going to transpire on your own terms. And I feel like rarely that's how it comes to fruition or how it happens. And I feel like I have just been getting comfortable in having to continue to adapt. Do you hear them? There's a motorcycle going by. Do I have ADHD? Because now I kind of forget what I was saying. Like getting comfortable in change and being able to adapt to new circumstances and being able to pivot and, kind of go with the ebbs and flows. Is that what it is? The ways of life, the waves, or the ways, whatever. I don't know. But yeah, so I feel like there's a lot of things that I have been walking away from, chapters that I've been closing up in my life, just preparing to leave behind in terms of like old narratives that I used to live by or subscribe to, beliefs that I, would live by or subscribe to, and kind of like this old identity of who I've been previously, who I have loved and cherished. And she has, gone so hard for me, and I wouldn't have been able to survive without all of these past versions of myself. But like, I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to live in the embodiment of what I've always been meant to be. And I'm so grateful for everything that I've been through. I feel like I'm finally at a point where everything that I've been through, I think I said this in a past episode, I'm at a point where everything that I've been through finally makes sense. And I can see exactly why I had to go through all of it. And like, all of the hardships that I've faced, all of the amazing things that I've been able to experience, everything in between, it has all served a purpose. And that purpose is literally me right now. It's so that I could evolve and transform into the Macy that I am right now. And I'm just so fucking grateful to finally be at a point where I'm able to feel that way. It's truly such a gift. And also, it makes me really excited to move forward into new things, even if they're uncomfortable. At least if things are uncomfortable, I know that I'm transforming. And yeah, I think that some of the things that I'm ready to leave behind are like living in a like fear-based mentality, or like being ruled by lack, which I know that both of those things sound, I don't want to say kind of like obscure, but it's like, what does that really mean? I feel like for me, what that means is being okay with where I'm at right now. And not in the way where I don't continue to strive for better in my life. I will always strive to evolve and transform, and to, peel back the layers of who I am into further, more like authentic, truer versions of myself. But I feel like there have been points in my life before where I have been so, like, I don't want to say desperate, but so desperate and so eager to get to the next thing, that it was really coming from a place of lack, of feeling like I didn't have what I needed in that moment. And I just don't want to live in that kind of narrative anymore, because I feel like it creates more turmoil than good. And I think that there's a difference as well, where it's like I've been through things that are challenging to get through, and so by proxy of that, it's like being in a shitty situation, it's like normal to want to like get out of that. But I guess I just mean like in general, that I'm working on having that balance of knowing that like everything is unfolding exactly how it's meant to. And at the end of the day, like, what's truly important? I feel like that's another thing that I'm, thinking about in my life right now, is like, what is truly, truly important to me, because it's my birthday. I'm turning 27. I've changed and evolved so much in so many ways. And I feel like I'm at a place where I've broken down so many of these like belief constructs that I've lived by in the past. And I feel like I'm just like continuing to do that at a deeper and deeper level. Um, where I'm really questioning like what is it that I want in this life, because life is so short and so precious, and like I don't want to have any regrets in my life. I want to know that I always acted in integrity, that I lived ruled by love, that I fulfilled my greatest potential. And whatever, I don't know, it's just like I'm feeling how important the weight of like life is, whether that's big things, small things, anything in between. It's just like, what is truly important for me to experience in this life? What do I really want? Um, um, so yeah, I feel like these are things that I think about a lot, but especially right now, I think because it's like in a way, even though 27 is like so young, um, it's also, I'm getting older, and I feel like there's a big, illusion around time and age and what you're supposed to be doing at what certain ages. And I feel like life never goes to plan. Like when I was a teenager, I really thought that by the age of 25, I was going to have, you know, had, well, a whole career, which I have had a whole career. So it's like, that's not wrong. But I also thought that like I would have been fully married with children and a family and all this stuff. And it's just like, sometimes life doesn't happen that way. Not that it never will, obviously. It's like I feel like I'm getting to that age where I'm realizing that right now I am this version of myself that I feel like can actually truly hold the partnership that I would want for myself. And so also like being open to love now that I've reached this new, like version of myself. And so that's really exciting too, because like I've been single for like 3 years. I haven't been in a relationship. I mean, it's like I've dated, I guess, but I just haven't felt I haven't like felt the desire to like truly be in a partnership. I've just been very, very focused on myself, and I feel like I'm finally at that point where like I'm ready for that in my life. Like I'm ready to start like going down, that type of expansion where you're learning a whole new, how do I say this? When you get into a partnership, you're opening yourself up to like a whole new depth of learning experiences, right? Because it's not just you. I feel like I've learned and developed so much as a person, just like myself, that I feel like I would be entering like the next stage of evolution, right? Because there's certain things you literally can't learn unless you're in a partnership. And I'm in no rush. Like I think that whatever is meant to be will be. And it's just nice to know that like I finally know that I am the version of myself that would be able to hold the capacity and depth and greatness of the partnership that like I want in my life. And also like I have friends and I have cousins who are like having kids, and being like an auntie has been so lovely. And like I want to be able to have that, pass down that generational experience of like having cousins. Like that was one of the greatest joys of my life growing up, was like having cousins around. Um so yeah, it's just like I'm just thinking about all of these things, like what do I want for my life? What do I want for, I don't know, just what do I want? What are my desires, you know? I feel like I'm at a point where I've done so much work that like I'm truly ready to fulfill the desires that I have for my journey more than I already have. And that's a really special feeling because I've worked so incredibly hard to get to where I am right now. And it has not been easy. It's actually been really fucking hard. It's been incredibly challenging, and that's why I I'm okay with saying that I am proud of myself, because I've been a version of myself before where it's like it has been hard for me to celebrate myself and celebrate the things that I have accomplished. And um I don't want to live by that narrative anymore either, where it's like I have to fight to even get like my own approval. I don't like that. I I feel like this past year have really strictly stopped talking negatively to myself. Like I do not play about myself. Why? Like I just feel like I've gone through so much. I'm so secure with myself. I really take into consideration like the inner monologue that I have. I feel like that's been integral in me moving through these narratives that I do not subscribe to anymore, or these things that I don't believe anymore. Again, I feel like because I've wanted to transform my life so much, I have seriously had to be accountable for the way that I view myself, talk to myself, hold myself accountable for the situations that I put myself in, the relationships that I have, the boundaries that I have, the standards that I have. Um, so yeah, I just think that at this point in my life, like I think that play is very important, but like I'm not playing any games. And which is like sounds so fucking stupid. I'm not playing any games. But it's like, no, seriously. This is my fucking life. This is the one fucking life I have. It's so precious. I do take it serious. I take myself serious, and I'm serious about getting what I want out of this experience that I'm having as me on earth. Um and yeah, I just think that it's beautiful, and I'm just incredibly grateful. And um I'm just ready to continue on my journey. I would love to continue to become, like how I envision it is like I just continuing to peel back the layers of who I am to expose like a new, but I don't want to say new. It's just like a more evolved, more potent version of myself. I've been through so much that it's like I'm ready to dive in even more so to my vulnerability, my depth, my passion. I just want, like I said, to become the most potent, impactful version of myself. I want my life to be in servitude of the greater good of the earth. And I feel like I was literally telling someone that I care about very much that today, where she was talking to me about something challenging that she is going through, and I was able to talk to her about it and use my own experience as a reference. I actually gave her a book that I read that's like extremely impactful and insightful. And we were just talking about that book in relation to her experience and my experience. And it made like I felt like all of my challenging experiences were not like experienced in vain because I was able to make them serve like her. I was able to make my experiences serve someone that I care so much about. Um, and that was very gratifying for me because it's been really challenging for me to get through some of those experiences. And so to know that like those things can have an impact on other people is extremely important to me. And so I feel like even with this, like with my art, with my everyday interactions, with the small things that I do in this world or the big things or whatever, like in between, I just like want to be the best version of myself so that I'm able to connect deeply. I feel like this comes down to connection. It's like I want to know that I have connected deeply in every way that I can with the things on this earth, whether it be people, places, experiences, like the earth. Even when I'm walking outside and going on a walk, like just making the conscious decision to be so aware and in touch with like my surroundings. Like, wow, look at how this ecosystem is operating around me right now, how that little bee is like flying up to this flower, and how that's having such an insane ripple effect on the rest of the world around me. Like, I don't know, I'm just, I want to be, or I am, but I want to continue to be so intentional about where my energy and perspective is. And I'm just so excited because I am absolutely ecstatic to be given the opportunity to continue to experience things in this world as this version of myself. Yeah, I'm just like so grateful and happy. And I think that something that I have learned this past year, which it's so cliche, so many people say it, but if you're gonna, if you want to do something, right, then you might just have to do it scared. There's been so many things that I've wanted to do that I had put off doing for so long because I didn't feel 100% ready, 100% perfect, 100% prepared. But it's like, I don't know if I'm ever going to feel that way. And if I don't start doing things, how am I ever going to feel that way? How am I ever going to feel evolved or capable in something that I don't have the courage to do right now? And so I feel like in my life, I've learned that sometimes you don't need 100% certainty, but you do need courage to do the things that you love and care about and that you're passionate about and that you want to do. And so I am just ready to approach another year of my life with courage, with love, with passion, with creativity, with insight, with foresight. I'm so grateful for my discernment. And I'm just ready to continue to conjure this unique God-given essence that I have. I'm just so incredibly grateful. And yeah, so I feel like I'm I'm just reflecting a lot. I also think that I've majorly been redefining what success looks like to me in my life. And that maybe the ways that I measured success 10 years ago is not the way that I view success right now. And I feel like that kind of goes back to me talking about like, I'm really trying to pinpoint what is important to me in my life. Because again, life is just so precious, and I want to save myself any regret. I just want to know that I did everything I could to continue living this life exactly the way that I was born to and given the opportunity to by God and the universe. And yeah. Yeah. Wow. Just so beautiful. And I'm so happy and ecstatic and grateful. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. And I hope you guys all have a beautiful day, beautiful week, beautiful month, beautiful life. And yes, thank you. Okay, bye.